Let's cut to the chase, shall we? No beating around the bush. For decades, China and Taiwan have been locked in a tense standoff, a geopolitical chess match with the highest stakes imaginable, each side backed by powerful allies, each move scrutinized and the world bracing for the worst possible outcome, a conflict that could redraw the map. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Beijing did the unthinkable, something that defied all expectations and historical precedent. It accepted a proposal from Taiwan, a proposal that just weeks ago would have been dismissed out of hand. Yes, China said yes to Taiwan. The words themselves feel almost surreal, a sentence that could rewrite the future. This is the diplomatic equivalent of cats and dogs co-hosting a podcast, then deciding to launch a joint venture. Unheard of. For over 70 years, Beijing's stance was clear, unwavering, and seemingly immutable. Taiwan is ours, a renegade province, and we'll get it back, peacefully if possible, but by any means necessary, or else. The threat was always implicit, always looming. Suddenly that script has been tossed out the window, shredded and set ablaze. A complete reversal. The announcement, delivered with trademark Chinese stoicism, a carefully worded statement designed to reveal as little emotion as possible, sent shockwaves through global markets, triggering both panic and cautious optimism in equal measure. And newsrooms, where the scramble to understand the implications began immediately. Pundits who built careers on predicting conflict, on analyzing the inevitable clash, are now scrambling to rewrite their narratives, to find a new angle in a world that has fundamentally shifted. This is Wile E. Coyote finally catching the Roadrunner, after decades of explosive failures and near misses, only to start a business together, selling Acme products ironically. The sheer improbability of this moment is staggering, a true black swan event that defies all logical explanation. We've all been conditioned to expect disaster, to anticipate the worst-case scenario in this volatile region, and instead, we got this. A development so unexpected, so out of left field, it feels like a rejected Tom Clancy plot, deemed too unrealistic even for fiction. So, what now? The world is holding its breath collectively, wondering if this is a real breakthrough, a genuine shift in geopolitical dynamics, or the most elaborate diplomatic prank ever, a feint before a larger, more dangerous game. The implications touch everything from your phone's microchips, reliant on Taiwanese manufacturing, to the global balance of power, potentially reshaping alliances and trade routes for decades to come. For now, we're left staring at the crater, the gaping hole where our old assumptions used to be, the foundations of our understanding of the world, now crumbled into dust. One thing's certain, the world has changed overnight, irrevocably altered by this single unexpected event. Welcome to the new reality. It's weird here. Get comfortable because we have no idea what's coming next. To grasp why this is huge, here's the short version. China and Taiwan are like feuding family members since 1949. After a brutal civil war, the nationalists fled to Taiwan, set up their own government, and both sides claim to be the real China. The world's been tiptoeing around this ever since, with the US and others playing diplomatic gymnastics to avoid picking sides. Beijing's sudden agreement is like your lifelong feuding parents announcing not just a truce, but a joint folk rock band. It's shocking, confusing, and nobody knows if it's good or bad. So, what broke the deadlock? Taiwan didn't surrender or declare independence. Instead, they pitched the one country, two systems plus framework. It's a twist on China's old Hong Kong model, but with a catch. Both the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China, Taiwan, would be equal partners in a new Cross-Strait confederation. Each keeps its own government, flag, and system. Unity without assimilation. The plus includes a joint defense council, no troops on each other's soil, a rotating UN seat, and a 100-year moratorium on changes guaranteed by the UN Security Council. This isn't just a deal, it's a legal fortress. The shock? Beijing always demanded hierarchy. This proposal offers partnership. For China to accept is to admit the old way failed and try something radically new. It's not compromise, it's a total reimagining. Why did China flip after decades of hardline rhetoric? It's a perfect storm. First, the economy China's growth is sputtering, and war would mean crippling sanctions. Second, the military invading Taiwan would be a bloody, costly gamble with no guarantee of success. Third, politics. Xi Jinping needs a legacy-defining win, and peaceful unification is far safer than war. Fourth, global context. The world is wary of aggression, and Russia's Ukraine debacle showed how fast coalitions form. By accepting Taiwan's offer, China transforms its image from regional threat to peacemaker. It's a strategic masterstroke, victory without war, and a new narrative for the world. The move neutralizes adversaries and reshapes China's global standing overnight. Sometimes the smartest move is to rewrite the rules. This isn't just a diplomatic handshake. It's far more than a simple agreement between nations. It represents a fundamental shift in the geopolitical landscape, a turning point with profound implications for the lives of millions. It's a seismic shift for 1.5 billion people. The ramifications of this accord will ripple through every facet of society, from economics and politics to culture and personal relationships. In Taiwan, the existential dread of invasion vanishes overnight. The constant threat that has loomed over the island for decades, shaping its policies and its people's anxieties, suddenly dissipates. Relief and optimism surge. A collective sigh of release sweeps across the island. People can finally plan for the future, make long-term investments, and pursue their dreams without the shadow of war hanging over them. In China, state media spins this as a historic victory, portraying it as a triumph of diplomacy and a step towards national reunification, fueling national pride and distracting from economic woes. The narrative focuses on unity and progress, overshadowing any potential concerns or criticisms. Economically, the floodgates open. A new era of collaboration and exchange begins. Direct rail links, joint tech parks, and booming tourism. Infrastructure projects that were once unthinkable become a reality, connecting the two economies in unprecedented ways. Taiwan gains access to China's vast market. Taiwanese businesses see unparalleled opportunities for growth and expansion. China taps into Taiwan's semiconductor expertise by partnership, not force. This collaboration promises to accelerate technological advancements and reshape the global tech landscape. The region could become a global tech powerhouse, rivaling Silicon Valley and driving innovation across multiple sectors. But it's not all rosy. Beneath the surface of optimism, anxieties and uncertainties linger. In Taiwan, some fear slow absorption and loss of democracy. Concerns about cultural identity and political autonomy remain. Protests are inevitable. Voices of dissent will emerge, demanding guarantees for freedom and self-determination. In China, hardliners grumble that too much was given away, viewing the agreement as a compromise of national sovereignty. Both sides must manage expectations and fears, navigating a complex web of political sensitivities and historical grievances. Daily life will be a mix of new opportunities and lingering suspicion. The integration process will be gradual and uneven, marked by both progress and setbacks. Former enemies are now family, a forced marriage of convenience and necessity. And family is always complicated. The dynamics will be fraught with tension, requiring patience, understanding, and a willingness to compromise. The world will be watching every step, scrutinizing every decision, and analyzing every outcome of this unprecedented experiment in cross-strait relations. The world's reaction? Stunned disbelief. In Washington, decades of strategy are upended. War is averted, but a new China-Taiwan entity could challenge U.S. influence. Japan and neighbors breathe easier. No war, but a powerful new economic bloc next door. Southeast Asian countries watch warily. Is this real peace or a tactical pause? Europe is relieved. No forced choices between China and the U.S., and global markets stabilize. Leaders in Brussels and Berlin are quietly celebrating. The UN hails it as a diplomatic breakthrough, and the rotating UN seat is eyed as a model for other disputes. The world, used to bad news, is now grappling with a sudden outbreak of peace, and the uncertainty it brings. The fire's out, but who owns the fire station now? Everyone's watching to see what comes next. Across the globe, from Washington to Beijing and beyond, experts are weighing in. They're calling this the geopolitical event of the century, a true turning point in modern history. The implications are far-reaching, touching every corner of the world. Dr. Evelyn Reed, a leading voice in international relations, says it's a geopolitical earthquake, a seismic shift that will reshape the global landscape as we know it. It signifies the end of the post-Cold War era, a period of relative stability, and the start of new regional power dynamics. The old alliances are being tested, and new partnerships are being forged in response to this monumental shift. Economists like Dr. Kenji Tanaka warn of potential economic ramifications, highlighting the delicate balance of global trade and technological interdependence. They suggest that a China-Taiwan tech partnership, if fully realized, could create a self-sufficient superpower, challenging the existing economic order and potentially disrupting established trade routes. This could lead to a new era of technological competition, sparking a new kind of tech Cold War, where innovation and technological advancement become the primary battlegrounds. Military analysts, meanwhile, say the U.S. must rethink its entire Pacific strategy, reassessing its military presence and diplomatic alliances in the region. The old playbook is obsolete, they argue, and new strategies are needed to address the evolving security landscape. The focus shifts from deterring war through traditional military means to managing a new superentity's influence through diplomacy, economic engagement, and strategic partnerships. However, not everyone's celebrating this potential shift in power. Concerns are being raised about the potential consequences for democracy and human rights. Human rights scholars warn this could be a Trojan horse, a seemingly beneficial partnership that masks a more insidious agenda. They fear China winning Taiwan through influence, economic incentives, and soft power strategies, rather than through military force or coercion. The risk is that Taiwan's democracy could be eroded over time, subtly undermined by economic integration and political pressure, all while being masked by apparent prosperity and stability. Despite the differing opinions, experts agree this is a monumental development with far-reaching implications for the global order. But whether it leads to lasting peace and cooperation, or a new kind of conflict and competition, is still up for intense debate and remains to be seen. The world is watching with bated breath as leaders and policymakers grapple with the implications of this potential union, and the stakes couldn't be higher for global stability and prosperity. The next moves, the decisions made in the coming months and years, will not only shape the future of China and Taiwan, but will also define the century and the global order for generations to come. What's next? A diplomatic marathon. Negotiators must hammer out thousands of details, currency, laws, airspace, each a potential deal-breaker. Domestic politics are a minefield. Taiwan faces protests from pro-independence groups. China must placate hardliners. The U.S. shifts from protector to referee, supporting Taiwan's autonomy while building new ties with the Confederation. The world will see if Washington can adapt or cling to old rivalries. Two paths lie ahead: a flourishing model of coexistence or a slow collapse under suspicion and complexity. The future is unwritten, a fork in the road for Asia and the world. All eyes are on what comes next. We stand at the dawn of a new era, unsure if it's a true sunrise or just a passing glow. This agreement dissolves a global flashpoint and replaces conflict with cooperation. On paper, it's a triumph of bold diplomacy and imagination. But hope is fragile. Success depends on leaders overcoming decades of distrust and citizens embracing a new future. The risk of sabotage, misunderstanding, or slow erosion of trust is real. If it works, it could reshape the world order and offer a blueprint for other conflicts. If it fails, it's back to the brink. For now, the world holds its breath, hoping this is the dawn of lasting peace. After years of bracing for disaster, the chance for something good feels both terrifying and exhilarating.